Guys, welcome, Black Scout Survival, and I'm trying to give you up-to-date coverage as far as the would-be attempted assassin of Donald Trump, Ryan Ruth. He's from North Carolina, supposedly has residence in Hawaii, although all we found was that he had some tiny home business where he had one tiny home, and to call it a tiny home would be a stretch. There's also been some questionable associates he's had on X, previously Twitter. Some people that he had followed apparently have ties, connection to the CIA. Now, the thing is like what I talked about last night's video about how the same thing with Lee Harvey Oswald, the CIA cannot do operations within the U.S., but they can mask themselves in other countries. And obviously Ryan Ruth was a big-time traveler. I don't know where he got all this money from. And he was also trying to recruit people to fight in Ukraine. Now, the thing is, I mentioned his parallels to Lee Harvey Oswald. And I think I offended some people last night. You need to watch my videos, every video, because I don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald was the shooter of JFK at all. But whenever I said last night about Lee Harvey Oswald being successful, I'm talking about that operation. They used him as a patsy, just like I believe Thomas Crooks and what have you. Now, there's some differences between this guy, Ryan Ruth, and Thomas Crooks that I want to really get into. But today, Ruth was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. So he had a scratched off serial number on the firearm. Thing is, his son, in last night's video, I mentioned this, is that his son said he never even had a speeding ticket. This guy's a convicted felon, had multiple weapons arrests and things like that. And now the initial criminal complaint is Ruth being limited to those above charges that I just mentioned, being the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. There's been no anything related to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, the former president, which is very strange to me. So now, before we get into the video footage, I do want to say that I think that there's a lot of oddities to this, and I'm going to discuss it. Now, first off, let's check out the body cam footage, and then I want to play another video for you as well.
Driver, take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking! Keep that long.
So you see, he was very compliant, meaning he didn't want to be harmed. Listen to the law enforcement discussing the arrest.
So we could surround that vehicle and force it to a stop.
How was he driving when your deputy saw him?
How was he driving when we saw him? He was smart. He was just driving with the flow of traffic. Yeah, I think that he may have thought he got away with it. Of course, he couldn't have known that there was a witness who really did the right thing, took a picture of him, took a picture of the tag. That he may have thought he got away with it. Of course, he couldn't have known that there was a witness who really did the right thing, took a picture of him, took a picture of the tag. And he was just going to drive himself back to wherever he came from.
Did he have any, to your knowledge, any ties to Martin County or the Treasure Coast?
Yeah, to my knowledge, does he have any ties to Martin County? I think the answer, to my knowledge, the answer is no, I have no knowledge. I think what we're finding out, he's not from this area, which of course raises the bigger question is, how does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International, realize that the president, former president of the United States, is golfing and is able to get a rifle in that vicinity? I think that's the question the FBI, the Secret Service are laser focused on today. Is this guy part of a conspiracy? Is he a lone gunman? If he's a lone gunman, President Trump is that much safer because we have him. But if he's part of a conspiracy, then this whole thing really takes on a very ominous tone.
Yeah, I think the tone is set because this is the thing. A guy, and I played videos of him last night. He doesn't seem to be that brilliant of a guy, but he wound up getting into the range of 200 to 400 yards of the former president with a rifle. He did not have prior knowledge, supposedly, right? Because it was never released unless someone on the inside gave out that information. And the thing is that he has ties to the Ukrainian military. He has documents where he was apparently recruited to be a shooter, and then he was trying to recruit foreign assets to go fight in Ukraine. Very, very strange. But the biggest part here is that you heard the chief saying that he was going with the flow of traffic. He wasn't trying to speed away. He ran whenever Secret Service fired upon him. Thomas Crooks didn't. Right. Thomas Crooks went out blazing. This guy did not want to get eliminated. Okay. So I guess in the next few days, if he winds up like Epstein, then you know there's something odd, because he fled. He wanted to save his own life, which is very telling. Now, I want to bring up something else real quick. Time Magazine posted this 5 days ago on Instagram. In trouble with Donald Trump on a golf course. Could be coincidental. I think not. I don't think anything is coincidence anymore. But if you remember, Time did an article after the 2020 election about how they pretty much had a coup against Donald Trump. They pretty much outlined how they got Trump out of presidency. And if I got a video on that discussing that completely, and you can probably go look up the article and read it for yourself. And it goes to all the different ploys and plans that they did to remove Donald Trump from the presidency. And they bragged about it, essentially. So to me, very strange. Time in trouble on the golf course 5 days prior to this. The other thing is that they indicted Trump for J6 about the pushing this violent ideology, which is not true. However, they've been calling Trump Hitler, that he's the worst thing to happen to America, all this sort of stuff. And no one's being held accountable for these types of provoking statements, right? No one's being held accountable. They just say, oh, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're living in different times. Anyway, guys, I want to share this, and I'm going to obviously keep you guys updated as I get more information. I'm digging to find as much, because they pretty much nuked Ryan Roost's complete social media presence, as I thought they would, because they don't want anything to give away any clues. Anyway, guys, remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous.